Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Just getting ready here. For the celebration. It's a celebration today, everybody. Get out your party hats. Sam figured it out. It's 909 day. Minute or so and we'll get started. Yo, Rock Cuts. Just getting ready to go. All right, let's start out. Let's go. Let's just open. Hey, yo, it's a party. Yeah. It's a big party celebration. Yeah. And if you don't know why, well, it's 909. I have a little reverb on my voice. Let's see why that is. Maybe that. Yeah, it's 909 day. 909 day today. The day we celebrate the TR-909. Hold on, let's have a look at it. I have a picture of it here that I could bring up. Where is my 909 picture? There we go. TR-909. Oh, it's an amazing drum machine. The Roland TR-909 Rhythm Composer is a drum machine introduced by the Roland Corporation in 1983. Succeeding the TR-808, it was the first Roland drum machine to use samples for some sounds, and the first with MIDI functionality, allowing it to synchronize with other devices. Though it was a commercial failure, it was totally a commercial failure, the 909 became influential in the development of electronic dance music genres such as techno, house, and acid. Yeah, there it is. Beautiful machine. Let's read a little more about the 909. The 909 was designed by Tadao Kikumoto, who also redesigned the Roland TB303. Oh, he not redesigned, but he designed the Roland TB303 synthesizer. Chief Roland engineer Makoto Murori, I'm probably butchering these names, credited the design of the analog and pulse code modulation voice circuits to Mr. OU, and its software to Mr. Hoshii. Okay. I gotta practice these names. Whereas its predecessor, the TR-808, is known as the boomy bass. To have a boomy bass, the 909 sounds aggressive and punchy. The 909 was the first Roland drum machine to use MIDI, allowing synchronization with other devices, and plenty of more. Then you can also go on Wikipedia and read all about it. But you know what? Because of that, you know that from time to time I have the 909 with me. So I have brought the 909 here to the studio today to let's get Ableton in there to get some party going with us. The 909. Okay, let's see who's in the chat. I see Simple Sam is saying a lot. You know what they call 909 Day in Italy? Friday pizza. That's what I'm celebrating. All right, Friday pizza it is. Oop, go Abe with the sound effects. Yes, I have a lot of reverb on me, and I don't know why it's sending it out to it. But hey, why not? Let's keep the reverb going. I should be able to just kill it, but maybe I'm sending it. Anyway, it kind of sounds cool to make me sound like I'm in some sort of cave somewhere making the stream. Madge Prometheus says, "Hi guys, hello Madge, or Mage, sorry Mage. Raw Cuts is here, Acid Bat is here. Lots of you are here, and again, it is 909 Day. We must celebrate 909. Well, let's see. John H. Kingston III. Oh my goodness, John H. Kingston III. I haven't seen John in a while. Good to see you, John. All right, let's get a little bit more into this. So let's talk about it. I can zoom in a little bit on the 909 here. So this is it. This is the 909. It's a drum machine. It has mostly analog sounds, and by that I mean that the kick drum, the snare, the low tom, mid tom, and high tom, and rim shot and clap are all analog. The clap and the snare share a noise circuit, and when they play together, they seem to kind of phase each other out, which is kind of a cool effect, and it's kind of a signature of the 909 sound. And then the hi-hats and the cymbal and the crash are samples, and very low bit rate samples. I think they're 6-bit. 6-bit rate sample means very chunky sounding. So let's get this machine going. See if I can get this thing started. There we go. So that's the 909 kick. What I've done is I have a mixer here. Let me pull it out a little bit so you can see what I got going on. once again, we're going to start another track today, and we're going to do it with the 909. So I have a mixer here with a few things. First of all, I've broken up the 909. On the back of it has stereo outputs, left and right, of course. But it has the ability to break out any sound. So it has individual outputs for every single sound. So if you put a cable into, say, the kick drum spot, you're able to like just pull it out. It'll take it out of the main mix, which is this one here, where the clap and hi-hat are going right now. And it'll be on its own channel over here. See? And I did the same thing for the snare. Now, if I had a snake, which I do, but I didn't want to do that today, I could have like pulled out every single sound off of it and put it on its own channel on the mixer, which would give me the possibility of doing really cool things like, maybe, adding effects to it, processing it, EQing it in a certain way. Lower that hi-hat a little bit. What do I mean by that? So let's say I want to take the kick drum and add a bunch of distortion to it by like really just crunching up. See what I'm doing to it now? Just using the EQ. Now you don't see me, you can tell I'm on this channel, but I think Ableton's is on top of where I'm actually turning the knobs, but you hear how I worked it into like a proper kind of techno kick. And that's just because I was able to break it up onto his own channel and do his own thing with it. I could add effects to it on its own now. Pretty cool. And the snare, same thing now. It's kind of loud now. You lower it. So how am I getting it to be distorted? I don't know if you can see this little red dot that's appearing here. That means I'm overdriving this circuit. By lowering the volume, let's turn everything down for a second. By lowering the volume and overdriving the gain, let me take the Ableton out of here for a second. Where's the Ableton one? Let's see. Hold on. Screen share. This would be it. So let's take that out of there for a second. Okay, so by raising the gain all the way on the channel strip, meaning this is the gain going into the fader. So this is what we call, we hear of them talking about like gain staging. This is what they're talking about. So you're raising the gain all the way so that it's clipping the circuit, but you're able to lower that so that what comes out of the mixer, is the clip sound, but you could have different volumes of that. So that makes it really nice to be able to play with. So as you see, I was playing with this parametric EQ set up here to kind of hone in and make the sound be what I want it to be. That's with the EQ in, and that's with the EQ out. So a little dirty, a little nasty, but what mixer is that? Says Sully Velasco. This is an Allen Heath, which model is it? The 2200, Allen Heath 2200 mixer. Allen Heath makes great mixers, as you maybe know. DJs love Allen Heath, but it's not as pricey as something like SSL or Neve, which is going to be prohibitive in price somehow. So I like to go to the next tier, which I think sounds just as good, the Allen Heath or the Soundcraft type of mixer, which I think are a really great kind of affordable solution for people that want to get into working with analog circuitry here. So I got the kick going in there. Now let's do the snare. So with the snare, I can also EQ it however I want. I'm going to put the EQ in. I have a parametric sweep here where I could set the frequency and then either boost or cut the frequency that I'm setting here. So this is the boost and this is the frequency. Roy Strobel is here. Greetings, he says. Or she, I guess Roy sounds like a boy's name. So I can really gonna just work my sound straight from the mixer here, directly from the mixer. Which means I don't have to, work it in the box, which is okay. But there's something about analog circuitry that sounds really great. So let's get some effects. I have some effect units, as you maybe could hear, because they're like all over the place. I'm gonna get some effects on these. Like, let's see what they do. Reverb on the snare, maybe a little less, and then I have another thing, kind of a sloppy delay on there. I could change it. Let me change it. I'm not going to disappear too much because the effect unit is over there, and I have to kind of but I kind of like that one, kind of right to the point. Let's add some. So that's just the 909 with tons of EQ and some processing with effects. Bring in the rest of it. Now the rest of it is kind of, so it's let's just say it's neutral, has nothing going on as far as EQ or processing goes. So that's these two channels. That's the right. Sorry, I hit the clap button there. 909 celebration today, everybody. Okay, so programming this thing is fun. Let's talk about programming it. It needs to be in either step or tap mode. So let's go to step mode, and let's get this to start. Sorry. So the drum machine is running now in step mode. I can select a pattern that I may want to sort of alter, say the kick drum, by selecting instrument and pressing that first button, which is going to be the kick drum. And as you can see, maybe there's these little red lights lit up. Let me bring it down to the 909, a little closer there. But I could add more. I could say add a compute here. So you have a step sequencer that'll let me. That's nice. So that's how programming happens. You just switch to the drum that you want. Let's say, let's go to the hi-hats, the closed hi-hat now. So right now the closed hi-hats are doing just a couple of things here, but let's add a little more. A little more action in the closed hi-hat. Let's add a little more, let's add some effects to it. I'm making kind of hard techno at 124 BPM, which is really fun. So how am I syncing this? I'm syncing it via MIDI. So the 909, as remember what I read, that little Wikipedia thing I was reading, the 909 is the first Roland drum machine that allowed MIDI syncing. So now I just have a MIDI cable in there connected to a MIDI interface. I think I'm using this TR-8 as a MIDI interface, and it just starts and stops when I start and stop my DAW. Okay, so got that going. Let's listen to some of the other sounds just to kind of make you familiar with what they are. I'll just take down these crazy sounds that I've. So I got the hi-hat going, the ride, which I don't have much of. I think I should write more ride parts. Let's select the ride, because it's really fun to always play those rides. Maybe eighth notes. And what everybody likes to do with them is always pitch them. Sully says you're hearing Robert Armani. Yeah, this is what Robert Armani actually did. Okay, so that's that. That's the ride. The hi-hats. This is the clap. Analog clap. They phase each other when the snare and the clap are playing. You can hear that phasing action that happens between the clap and the snare. And then the rim shot. Right now I got a lot of rim shots going on. Let me just move it over and play a little more of a typical rim shot pattern. Get that kick back in. By the way, you're watching 343 TV. My name is Abe Duque. I'm an instructor at 343 Labs. And I also am a 909 enthusiast. Happy 909 Day, everybody. If you like what you see, and you want to see more of it in person maybe, in Berlin or in New York, or online, come and take a class with us. Anyway, so that's the rib shot. And let's see, we have toms. Which apparently I have none written at the moment because none are coming out. Let's just see what's going on with here with the toms. Let's select the low tom. Yeah, there's no low tom there. Okay, so somebody says my panning is dead left. Yeah, you're right. I didn't have the hi-hats in both sides. Thank you. Who said that? Alex warned me that these hi-hats here weren't coming through on both left and right, and I didn't have the right button pressed down. Right, yeah, Sam, we fixed it. There was a problem here with the I didn't have it going to both sides, the one that goes to all the 909. So now it should be rims and everything should be, and now we got some toms going. Let's go to the high tom. Okay, so you know what that sounds like, and let's go to a mid tom. Let's just write a little mid tom in there. Goes to mid tom, and they both had like decay and pitch, so you could tune these toms, which is really nice, and shorten them if you like. Okay, so I've been told now. Hold on. I'm going to try a little test here, so let's see. I'm going to try a little test. Kick is on the right. Kick is on the left. So I should be transmitting this fine. Hi-hat on one side. Hi-hat on the other side. Snare in the center. I think we're good. Sully asked if I ever opened up the 909 and messed with the circuitry. No, I really didn't. I know that I was doing some research earlier about the 909, and I read that a lot Roland changed a lot of the sounds as they continued to sell it. They only sold it for a year, and they changed a lot of the sounds, and they tweaked the circuits inside. And there are a lot of people that buy the later versions open them up and actually tweak the sounds to sound more like the original, the earlier versions. All right, so it sounds good right now. Yeah, apparently I just had, one side was only was not pressed in for to send to the Zoom. I mean, not the Zoom. We're on the stream here. Okay. Anyway, so we got the 909, we got the sounds. Now you know what it sounds like. You know how to program it. You know that you have some parameters in there. You know that you could break up the sounds from the actual machine. So it has a lot of outputs, maybe a total of like 10 or 12 outputs in it, including the left and right. Beautiful machine. I think it was like $1,195 retail when it first dropped, which would have been about $3,000 today. But now I think they're a little more. I think they're more like $7,000 or $8,000, depending on the condition that they're in. But let's play around a little more. And I have some other gear here that I wanted to play together with it. Of course, I have the 303 with me. Let's open this up a little bit so we can see more. Not Ableton. I want to see. Forget about Ableton. I want to see the overhead. So I have the 303 here. Should be playing some sounds here. There we go. And we do this all the time around here. We play with this 303 a lot. And it's nice. I love this thing. I don't want to talk any more about it because I talk so much about this thing. So let's just kind of let it do some rubbly sort of bass now. I want to show you what else I have with this thing. I have a couple of Eurorack devices kind of ready to go here. I have the Mother 32 and this here, the DFAM, and they're both kind of wired up in a way. I got the audio at least wired up for them, and I wanted to connect them to the 909. So let's see what Simple Sam is saying. Would have thought the prices would drop with clones available. Yeah, maybe the clones actually made it more expensive, being that you could only afford a clone. This 303 clone is the French Cyclone Analogic TT303 bass bot. It's my favorite clone of all the clones. Because it has more parameters and more functionalities that the original 303 didn't have, which if you ever try to program a 303, if you buy the Behringer version, it's cheap, but it's like 1-to-1 almost as to how the original 303 is programmed, and it's so tough. It's really, you need a whole weekend and a bottle of Adderall to get that done. Anyway, not here to talk about 303, here to talk about this guy, 909. So let's see how we would have synced one of these devices. Now, for example, the DFAM. The DFAM has a sequencer in it, but it does not have a way to control it via MIDI. So I can't just send it a MIDI signal like I'm sending the 909. I need to send it some sort of trigger, gate, really is what we called it. So I have a cable plugged into the back of the 909, and there's a little spot where you plug this cable into called gate or trigger. And usually what it is, it's just sending a pulse out based on the programming of the rim shot. So you work the rim shot, and that's why I had the rim shot kind of playing straight through notes before, because I was getting ready to do this, what I'm about to do. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it into, and I got to look at this because it's a little tough to see from this angle. But I'm going to play, I think it's advanced clock. Yeah, that's where it is. So now, with the rim shot set up and this ready to go, let's hold on. Oh, hold on. My MIDI sync went off. Now it should be back. Now I need to program. I need to put this in program mode or write mode so that I can step program the rim shot to include every single note, meaning I'm going to have 16 steps just playing out straight through. And when that happens, I don't know if you can see, but these are running now straight through 16 based on the 16 notes. If I skip some, you'll see that it will skip some. See how it... So every time it receives a rim shot trigger, it will run the sequencer. And if I just give it straight up 16th notes across the board, this thing is just gonna run. So let's see what I got it going on with this. Take the snare off. So I gotta take the 303 off for now as well. Back a little bit on it. Just trying to prove a point earlier with the 909 totally distorted. I'm just gonna pull back a little more and a little less reverb on it so we can hear the other parts. But this guy here is now running this is the sequencer here, down here, so I got a nice part coming out from this guy now. Let's get some hi-hats back in there. Okay, toms. Take those toms out. Let's bring up that DFAM a little more. Let's make it dry. Everything has so many effects on it. Let's see what else. This is the cutoff on it. Let's just listen to the DFAM so you know what you're listening to here. Let's this thing could be really bassy if you want it to be. Switch the high pass filter. Let's get that kick back in. Shorten it, the sounds a little bit. I'd like to get a delay on the... I'm going to disappear for a second. I'm going to put the effect on here. I'm going to try to get a delay that works for here. I'm just going to disappear for a second, right? I'm just going to do for now. I just need to go over there, and, you know, because the delay unit is in a rack over there. But that's working now. So I could play with the filter. I could even maybe modulate it if I wanted to. Back in. And the hi-hats. Okay, I got another thing here. Oh wait, I got my 303. Let's get that 303 in. Oh yeah, that's ripping. Get a little bit of that ride. Okay, so I have another synth here that I want to play. So how am I going to do that? So this is the Mother 32 now. The Mother 32 does have a MIDI in, and I could sync it up via MIDI. But I wanted to keep it in the analog world and show you what I'd have to do to like get the same, because I got one trigger out, and I think that's all we get. In some drum machines you had a couple of trigger outs that you could do, and this one I'm just having the one trigger out to do the sequencer here. But if I grab a little a little splitter here. See, that thing's trying to run by itself. That's what it's trying to do. That's why it's going so fast. And plug it in here, and then plug this back in here. I should be able to just get that signal going on again. Yeah, there we go. Let's turn it back on. Yeah, that's good. Good. Remember, you're watching 343 TV. We stream every Friday and Saturday and every other Tuesday at 1 p.m. My name is Duque. I'm here every Friday. And today is 909 Day. Welcome to the celebration. 909 Day. Yeah, everybody. Okay, that's really cheesy. Okay, but now I split off the okay, enough of that. Hold on. I gotta find my mouse here. So now I split off the sync so that I could have another sync, and I could actually have a few more. But this sync can now go to the tempo on the Mother 32. And that should mean that, let's take these out. That should mean that the Mother 32 will be able to run on its own. Let's see what happens. Oh, there it is. It's running. So it has sequences built into it already, and I could, or that I programmed it in already. It's a little loud. Just add a little bit of effect to it. With the decay. Let's see if I have another pattern in here. I always forget how to switch out the patterns. Maybe like this. Yeah, that's a polyrhythmic one. Happy 909 Day, everybody. Let's get some hi-hats. Let's get that 303, see how it's sounding with it. It's real powerful. Change the pattern, though. Try to find a pattern that fits. Try another one. Yeah, the Mother 32 does sound great. Let's switch out to a square. I mean, that's a square. Let's do a saw. I think I may have to tune it to my 303. Okay, let's tune that to that. Not the easiest thing to do. Not bad. Add some more noise. Some modulation maybe. That's nice. Let's get that kick drum back in. Do some snare programming. Simpler snare maybe. Okay. All right. Craziness. Happy 909 day, everybody. Okay, let's see. Just having fun here. Just wanted to see how, show you how kind of sometimes I get tracks started. You've seen me do the tracks, in the box in the last few weeks, the last few tracks we did. Even though we did record parts, this time we're really not even depending on Ableton so much. It's just sitting there. Ableton's there. Let's bring it back because somehow I took it out of the picture, but it's in there. We're going to work into Ableton now, though. Let's try to get some Ableton going. So let me record some of these parts into Ableton. So how am I going to do that? Well, I have an audio interface that allows us to do this. So let's switch to the Ableton screen and let's set up these borders correctly because these borders are a little bit off. I think that will work nicely. Okay, so right now that's looking at the TR-8, but I wanted to look at something else. I wanted to look at the 909 because we're going to record the 909. Happy 909 day, everybody. Oh, Max Wild is here. Yeah. All right. Happy 909 day, everybody. It's 909 day. We're playing with the 909. All right, so let's record some of these parts that we have from the 909 onto our Ableton screen here. So I'll have to set up some tracks to record onto and set up the interface to record I got this. The Thunderbolt is ready, and I believe things will be coming in on 3 and 4. I don't want to record what's on 1 and 2 because that's going to be the mixer's sending everything to 1 and 2, and that's what goes out to the stream. So I need to capture what happens on 3 and 4. So let's do 3 and 4 on all of these. And get ready to... Oh, my face cam is off. How can that be? Yeah, let's put my face cam on. Oh, you know what? It went to another... Here, let's try that. That'll work. Okay, thanks for letting me know. You guys are so helpful. John Selway's here. Hey, do I get a horn blast too? Yeah, John Selway, you get a triangle. That's what you get. I mean, unless you really need a horn blast, you can have a triangle right now. Okay, so what are we doing? Let's see. We're recording in here. So let's solo some of these parts. Let's start. A lot going on. So I got that kick, and remember, I wanted to get it a little more aggressive. So it's kind of recorded super aggressive in the box. It's clipping in a really bad way. I'll be able to work with that. So let's set to record this, and we need just some of this. We don't need that much of it. Let's get it in there nice and healthy. There's a lot of headroom in digital audio, so I don't really have to worry about it. But let's see. Let's try to do a little recording here. Oh, let's see how well it's syncing up. It's not bad. That's pretty tight. We'll look at it under the microscope in a second. Let's just record some of it. Okay, that's really tiny. Let's see what that is recording right now. It doesn't look like a kick drum. Let's see what I just actually recorded. Let's play that back. And it should be playing back out. Oh, I gotta set it up here. Sorry. 3 and 4. I know why. I didn't have 3 or 4. I just recorded the reverb. That's what happened. Which is nice. I mean, I wanted the reverb to record in there, but I didn't have it set so that I could. So let's do that again. Let's record that again. So now it's nice and strong in there. Let's not go too crazy with it. And it's a little less reverb. that's pretty tight. I mean, you can't ask for much better as far as like recording an analog drum machine from 1983. And that's super tight. Now let's turn this one off. Now you're hearing both of them on top of each other. But let's listen to the metronome and look at it under the microscope here. So yeah, it's a little, off just a bit. Now some of the drift you might want, but if it's a constant kind of pull back or push forward, then maybe it's just latency, but this machine will tend to drift. It doesn't always stay right on, the transient doesn't always stay right on the grid, and that's one of the wonderful things about it, that it does that. But if you wanted to be a stickler about it, you could kind of move it forward just a little bit, maybe set the one to here. Sorry, did the wrong thing here. Set the one to there, and then we'll be all right, I guess. And I could take maybe just one bar if you want to just have not drift as much. But a lot of people will tell you part of the magic of this thing is that it drifts, So got that going. So I don't have to play it from here anymore. Let me start and stop it. Sometimes if it starts to drift, really like come off of the beat, like it starts to like not be on the grid anymore, what you need to do is like start and stop it, and then it gets right back on again. So let's grab some of that snare, no? And just record it right in. All right, that'll be enough. And I should be labeling these things. It pays off. I teach production classes, and I always urge my students in production classes to label everything, because it's gonna, you're gonna thank yourself later for it. Sorry, let me just turn off the one that's here because it started to drift. But I wanted to keep this kind of tidy. And speaking of production classes, if you're interested in what you're seeing and you want to have somebody like me or John or Vasilis in Berlin, or so many, Stella, there's such a big list now of instructors that we have. I can't remember them all, but we have so many talented. Everybody is so talented and ready to kind of show you personally what we're doing here by coming and taking a class with us. Either come to our school in Berlin, or come to our school in New York City, or come online, because we have classes starting all the time. I have classes in the next couple of weeks. I have a few classes starting up. I know I have a class starting up next week, an Ableton class, and then I think it's not next week, the week after that, and then in a couple of weeks after that, there'll be other classes. For everybody, there's classes starting all the time. So come to our website, 343labs.com, check it out. And if you're in the mood to have a different sort of approach towards learning, you could check out 343 Studio, which is kind of our, I like to call it the dojo, even though now I have a component of the 343 Studio called the Ableton Dojo. But the idea is that you go in there as a producer and you work out your chops. We have mentoring sessions, we have feedback sessions, we have collab sessions, we have the dojo that I do at 343 Studio. Come and check that out. Maybe that's what you need. Anyway, so let's get back to recording here. So I got the snare. Gonna record some other parts now, maybe some of the hi-hats and all that stuff. And I think I'll record that as one go, because I have a lot of parts here. I'll just record them and chop them up. So I'll get this going. Do some ride first. Let's get that ride going. Get a good amount of it, and then do that pitch sweep that everybody likes to do. Then I could cut this up later as well. So that snare started. That snare somehow started to go off for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Because that snare isn't very long at all. Maybe the ride went off. Let's see. That's interesting. Okay. Regardless, let's get another part going in here. Get a hi-hat. So you notice that they're a little pan to the right, and that's because the 909 itself panned it to the right. So it's drifting, and I'm not sure if it's drifting from the 909 itself. Let's try this again. Start and stopping it. See, start and stopping, it locks back in again. Do a couple of changes real quick, so I can have a couple of variations on this before it starts to drift. I actually think it's not even the 909. I think it's this kick setup here that I have. Look, that's why when I went to move the timing here, I didn't account for the fact that I just have a tiny little, it's a tiny bit short. So that movement that I did earlier by putting the one there was the wrong movement. So now it should. So it had nothing to do with the 909 drifting. It was just that I, like a dingbat, made a mistake here. So yeah, no, Suli, the kick is drifting, not the snare. The kick is the one drifting, and the reason for it, we figured it out. Okay, so we have a hi-hat. Let's get a couple other parts in there. So let's see. Let's get a clap in there. That clap is just amazing. I could listen to that clap all day. The little clipping there. I mean, we do have a lot of headroom in 32-bit audio, but I'm just going to lower it a little bit. Here we go. Just grab a few of those. And Rimshot is just doing a bunch of stuff there. I'm not going to do toms. We'll just keep that, and let's go to the DFAM. Start stop. The thing is that you start and stop it, and it just takes on another embodiment because it starts from another position. But I kind of like it where it is right now, so I'm just gonna record that for a little bit. Mess around with the cutoff, maybe the decay here. Starting to drift. I'll fix it later. Okay. Got that. See how it's a new part now somehow? Because I start and stop it. It starts at a different position. I guess you're not even seeing the... There's the DFAM. So let's do a little kind of a chicken scratch tweaking, which means that's what I meant, and I record that. I like that. I like these devices because you could be literally blind and make music with it, because you just find your way by tweaking the knobs. This is a great drum computer or drum synth. It's hard to know what to call this DFAM because it's not a drum machine and it's not a synth. Alright, let's start and stop it again. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna not record that anymore, and I'm going to record the Mother 32 because we're running out of time. So let's find a pattern that I like. That's interesting. I'll take that. Play with the filter a little bit. And the drifting begins. All right, but we get a good amount there. Let's see if I can find another pattern that I can maybe record, and I'll decide later what I'm going to keep. So let's move the pattern. Interesting. Stop it again. I want some of that kind of raspy percussive stuff in there. Okay, so I've recorded a bunch of parts. Let me just label these. Acid Bat said DFAMs are my faves. Yeah, I think after the 303, the DFAM is my favorite kind of. If I had a fire here and I had to run out with it with something, I would run out with that and my 303s and maybe my 909 and my 808 and a few other things. So I guess I would die in the fire. I wouldn't be able to make it out. Okay, so we were labeling. So this is some 909 stuff. So wait, I have to. Okay, so that's going to be a ride. I'm going to need another channel for that, and we'll call that ride. And this one is, let's see what this one is. So these are hats. I've been told to reverse the audio in a certain recording. I don't know which one they mean, but I'll try to reverse some of these audios. So let me turn these off to keep just the Ableton going on. So I don't know if they mean this one. Oh, did I mess up? Yeah, I messed up. I didn't record those. I didn't have the... I did on both the DFAM and the other guy. I didn't have those on. I had only the effects, so I just recorded effects. Maybe I should just make rumbles out of these things. Oh, that. So these are just the affected parts, which is kind of cool. So I guess I'll make rumbles out of these. I'll write these down and I'll just use these to make rumbles. So it's like making lemonade from lemons here because he kind of messed up a bit. And okay, so we have the rides. Okay, start this in the right place. And what is this last one here? Oh, clap. Let's get a clap going in there. That clap is just an amazing clap. And let's rename that. Clack. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes I make mistakes when I'm naming things and I just keep it because it makes it feel special. Okay, got that. Got the hats. This kick is still off. Look at that. This kick is still needs to be a whole bar. I've been plagued by this kick not being in the right place. The length was always a little bit off. So I was still hearing drifting, and I was like, where is that coming from? Sometimes you have these problems. Let's just grab it from here. One clap to rule them all. Okay, so we're running out of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to... Let me just take these effects off and talk without effects. We're going to save that and set it up so that we could continue this next week and make a track out of this. We'll start mixing and, getting it to sound like what we want and maybe adding some more parts. Horn blast for fixing the kick loop. Yeah, I thought I had fixed it, but sometimes, you get the deer in the headlights thing and you become real dumb when you're in front of people trying to do things. So let's see, what are we going to call this? Deer in the 343. Okay, and that'll be there for next week for us. All right, it's the end of the show. Sorry that I fixed it at the end of the show. But the idea for today's show really was to celebrate the... 909, sorry. 909. Happy 909 Day, everybody. Let's keep that party going. What else do I have in here? A glockenspiel. Happy 909 Day. John says, by the way, I'm off tomorrow. See you next week. John usually does Saturdays, techno or electro Saturdays, depending on how John feels. And tomorrow, he's not going to be able to do it. So John is in the chat right now. If you're going to ask him about it or talk to him, John is one of our elite instructors. You can come and take a class with John. You should, both online and at our locations in Berlin and in New York City. Visit our website. See what our class schedule is all about. Check out 343 Studio. Studio is amazing for those that want to continue but don't necessarily need to take a whole course of one dedicated thing, that maybe want to just have a holistic approach towards building their production and mixing and mastering and composition chops. Anyway, with that, I'm going to leave you. It's 2:00 and it's time to say goodbye. So I'm going to, when I hit my my closing screen, it's going to say tune in tomorrow for John Selway's Techno Saturdays, but I'll take it off pretty quickly. Here we go. Goodbye, everybody. Happy 909 Day. Hey everybody, if you're still there listening, I forgot to ask everybody to give me a like. So if you're still listening and you can still hit the like button, please give me a like. And maybe also subscribe to our channel. We're looking at 27.5K subscribers. That's amazing. See you next week, everybody.